New tonight, some fascinating new research on a supermassive black hole that may be responsible for one of the most powerful single cosmic events ever recorded by humans. Okay, as it turns out, the expert leading the research is based in Eugene at the University of Oregon.
A black hole is something that is so much mass concentrated in a small area that light, which is the fastest thing in our universe, can't escape it. And when you get close to black holes, you can have some unusual effects happen. One of these is if you have what's called a tidal disruption event. So black holes have a tidal radius, like we have our moon, we have tides from our moon. But what could happen for a black hole is if a star wanders too close and passes this tidal radius, it'll get shredded apart in what's called a tidal disruption event, or TDE.
So these events are very rare. Only around 200 have been identified, according to Cendes. It's a relatively new field being studied by astronomers and astrophysicists. The TDE that Professor Cendes is focused on is 665 million light years away.
Which means that it took light 665 million years to reach us for us to see this phenomenon.
Professor Cendes and her students get most of their data from a series of radio telescopes called the Very Large Array in New Mexico, and they're able to download the results in Eugene to dig deeper. Now, in this case, they're looking at a massive reading of radio waves that the black hole is basically belching out after it chewed up a star that wandered too close. And what makes this especially rare is that the black hole's indigestion, if you will, has only been getting stronger.
And in 2021, we detected it, and it was already pretty bright from a radio source. And since 2021, this source has been rising exponentially in its brightness. Its luminosity is what we say in astronomy. And it's been doing that ever since. So we think that has to correspond with an outflow that has incredibly high energy. We have seen similar levels of energies from things called gamma ray bursts, which are, we believe a gamma ray burst happens when a very supermassive star collapses, but a gamma ray burst lasts a very short period of time. So from a TDE, it would be one of the most extreme TDEs for sure.
Professor Cendes says only 1% of these already rare TDEs actually blast out the burst of energy known as relativistic jets. So her team is trying to understand the conditions around the black hole to try and unlock the reason why it continues to spew energy.
It probably has something to do with, the magnetic field around the black hole that probably contributes. But it has to be very specialized conditions if you're only seeing it 1% of the time. And so that's very much an active area of research, actually, in astrophysics.
The radio wave emissions from this event are expected to peak sometime in 2027. Cendes says that data will help guide the next steps in her research. But for now, it's a waiting game, a few 100 million years in the making.